Hey, welcome back to the channel. A little bit different kind of video today because I live in North Georgia. Specifically, I'm in Forsyth County, and we're right in the path of Hurricane Helene, or what will be, I think, Tropical Storm Helene. And I just want to show you a few things I got going on in the yard. I recently overseeded my cool season, or part of my cool season, and it got washed yesterday. So we're going to go take a look at that. I'm also going to empty out my little rain gauge and install this really huge rain gauge to monitor what kind of rainfall that we see over the next, really the next 24 hours, and this thing's gonna be moved through us. So I wonder if it'll fill that thing up. It's got 5 inches. We're gonna see, it could go either way. So let's go check out the yard real quick. Check it out. This is how much rain we got. There was a cold front that came through yesterday, and as of right now, we've got almost 4 inches of rain. That's before the storm even comes through. Here's the areas that got overseeded. I stopped on this hillside, overseeded below the wall. It has had some standing water with that 4 inches of rain, unfortunately. And then I overseeded the side of the driveway all the way to that tree. We'll see what happens. This riprap right here does a decent job when it rains. Unfortunately, it turns into a raging river, so we may get some footage of that for you later on. And unfortunately too, this thing goes way back there all the way to the houses that are on another street, and I'll get leaves and crap and junk. I've seen logs floating down at volleyballs and whatever. It's gonna float all into this yard right here like a temporary river flooding. So that could be interesting, and as far as the impacts it has on this side right here, but we'll just have to see what happens. It's about all we can do at this point. All right, so we got the big giant rain gauge in place. I don't have to come out here and look. I can see, can we fill that 5 inch up? It'll be interesting to see. I will post a link to the rain gauge in the description. It's a Taylor Jumbo Junior, I believe is the name. And the thing I like about it is I can have this in my yard now while we're expecting this really heavy rain, and I can look out from my front door or my window, and it's visible up to 50 feet. It has a little red floater down there in the bottom, and it'll float up as the rain fills that thing up. So I will link in the description both that one and the little smaller rain gauge that I really like to use. Well, that's, I guess, the calm before the storm, so to speak. Got the big old rain gauge out there. Just showed you what the yard is looking like after seeding. I didn't use any peat moss, and I really wanted to get some straw down, but unfortunately, I was working all day yesterday, and I was hoping I could beat the rain home and grab some straw to help hold that seed in. But luckily, those areas were just overseeded, so there is some existing grass, and I'm banking on those existing grass blades and weeds and whatever else was in that dirt to help, to hold some of that seed, so it's not a total wash. But really, what can you do now is nothing. When you got 4 or 5 inches of rain on the way, you just have to hold it down and hope for the best, and then let that seed germinate up. Don't just go out there crazy throwing more seed down before you know what the results are going to be. Give it a week or two, let it start popping and germinating up, and you'll see the areas that got washed and the areas that you may need to lay down a little bit more seed. Luckily, I did not do the area above my retaining wall. That area is the barest and the most likely to wash. When I do that area, I may put some seeding straw down. It has a tackifier in it, and a lot of the YouTube lawn channels don't recommend that you use straw because it introduces weed seeds, and that very well may be true. But I have a wooded backyard with birds and animals and deer and tons of weed seeds. I don't really think that putting some straw over it, the benefits are going to outweigh the negatives as far as holding that seed on that big slope. So we'll check back with you later on Hurricane Helene and the impacts that I'm seeing up here in North Georgia. Thanks for watching.